We develop dialogue images for a variety of organizations who want to make strategies, visions, and system processes understandable for their employees. How do I go about explaining to a colleague that the place in which he's worked and the processes he's worked with for the last 20 years have to be changed? Using a dialogue picture, one can present the company's big picture, illustrating connections in order to give that colleague a new orientation. When we develop a dialogue picture, we begin with a kickoff meeting in which we obtain all the relevant details from the client. We also like to tour the company location so that we can obtain images and a feel for the company. Our illustrators can then represent the client and their products in a finely detailed and optimum fashion in the dialogue picture. Over the last year at Alcotem, we've implemented a reorganization program. Reorganization programs such as this are very complex these days. Explaining to the workers exactly how all the factors are interconnected is not a simple matter. We synthesize all this information in order to define the essential characteristics which are then presented in image form, thus arriving at the fundamentals of the story. Over a period of time involving several meetings, we then begin to get down to the real detail, developing the picture with an image development group. We put together a very mixed group of people on purpose. Some of them were quite old, while others were quite young. Some of them had a lot of experience, but we also included some apprentices. Our aim was to create a group with a representative average. This group then went on to develop the picture in workshops. DIALOGBILD assigned us an illustrator, and he was the one who implemented the developments. At our agency, we've got 10 permanent employees, a colorful mix of consultants, graphic designers, and illustrators, all of whom collaborate on a project. The development of a dialogue picture takes approximately 2 to 3 months, and the style of the dialogue picture can take on many different forms, depending on the client's requirements. In my opinion, the fascinating thing about dialogue pictures is that when we describe a situation to the managers, we have every opportunity to explain our side of the story, taking into account our own individual experiences here within the company. In this way, we're able to interpret the nuances of the dialogue image itself. A picture says more than 1,000 words, and a dialogue image is far more capable of interpreting and implementing day-to-day processes than if the message were delivered in a classic text form only. It wasn't just the presentation in picture form that assisted us, but also the reasoning, the descriptive element, the illustration of systems and processes. For me, it was interesting after receiving the initial presentation to begin to realize how an individual is able to grasp certain concepts. Because images are far stronger than words, I became convinced pretty quickly that this was indeed the best way for us to proceed. The reception among the employees when we actually spoke about it was very positive. It seemed to be taken for granted because the picture was ever present.